Hello fellow old schoolers, and welcome to the second part of the Pegasus Cup. This is just another match of the Swiss. And in this round we are having an old favorite on the channel, namely Tropical Twister, and this time it's coming up against a lethal Disco Trolls setup. Let's go over this deck in a flash here. This version of the Disco Troll is very tight and sticks to the core, and that means it's black and red and bad lands, so it's dual land. The reason for these colors is because of this guy, the Sedge Troll, who is the stable, the ground grunt of this particular archetype, and he's a 2/2 red creature that gains +1/+1 if there's a swamp in play and can regenerate with black mana. And he works in combination with the iconic Minerals Disc, so as to when the Disco Troll player activates the disc and wipes the board, the trolls will regenerate and they'll have an open field just to attack. And until then they can function as linebackers or defenders. This particular version also uses rook eggs, so whenever he activates the disc it will crack those eggs and a 4/4 flying rook will appear to counterattack the opponent alongside the regenerated trolls. This version goes pretty deep into the black territory using dark rituals and underworld dreams, and as it isn't powered, this is an excellent way to punish the blue players for all their draw power and card advantage. If you can't join them, beat them, right? It also makes use of Hypnotic Spectres, and I think both of these cards will be very mean against the Tropical Twister, as the Tropical Twister will lack ways to remove the Underworld Dreams, and he doesn't really like Hypnotic Spectres either, as he can't bolt them or remove them that easily. This Disco Troll version rounds everything off with a burn package, lightning bolts and stuff like that, just for removal and as an extra way to put pressure on the life pool. So very aggressive, very focused, without the blue power that we sometimes see. And I'll go over this archetype in another video. I think it's a very efficient budget option as well, as you don't need the Moxen and you don't need the blue power as much, really. And here is its opponent, Tropical Twister, the legendary guy, is back on the channel. It's a blue and green mage that has a very spicy brew. Tropical Island is obviously his dual land here, as he's two colors colored as well, and it's usually a control setup with just a insane or obscene amount of counter magic in all variations, and he uses this just to gain control over the game and make use of his draw power as blue. The attack path of this particular deck is getting out his Moxen. He has his on-color Moxen and the fast spawn, just to put out a lot of early mana and provide him with some hefty board presence. He'll then after a little while make use of the Time Twister to hopefully draw into one of several amnesias with which to empty the other guy's hand, and then he can just play a threat like an Air Elemental or Mahamoti Jin to close the game with that, and he'll have sufficient counter backup to protect it. This particular version is a bit different in that it has way more creatures, so it resembles aggro control a bit, whereas the usual Tropical Twister is a bit more control-ish. Blue and green lacks the spot removal of white and red, for example, so Tropical Twister makes use of Drop of Honeys, and Drop of Honey will just travel around the board munching up all the creatures each turn, and once it's done doing that, it will just dissolve right back into the graveyard. And when it's gone, the Tropical Twister will then cast his creatures and finish the game with that. The extra creatures he has put in is the Killer Bee, a very beautiful and iconic old school magic card, I think, harkening back to our childhood playgroup, and also the more common Sushi, which is an excellent all-round mid-range creature. final variation of the Tropical Twister is that he sometimes makes use of several streams of life that, alongside with all of his mana production, will buy him some time and gain some hefty life that he can also use with the Sylvan Diary to sacrifice 4 life for more card draws. So this is the matchup. I imagine the Disc Control player will try to close the game early, and Tropical Twister will try to stall for time, as he'll usually win in the deep late game. Disc Control will try to get his combination going, getting out the disc, destroy all the permanents, regenerate his creatures, or get some rooks, and then go for the kill. Whereas Tropical Twister will use his counter magic to try to fend those key cards off and empty the other guy's hand and drop a fat beater or a lot of killer bees. But so much for predictions. We will see what will happen here. This is round number 1. And here we go. I think the Disc Control player won that roll-off, and he is on the play here. Both players drawing their first hand. That's a recall. And okay, here's the hand. Library of Alexandria, turn 1 here. Mox Jet, Swamp, Underworld Dreams, I think a Neverner's Disc, a Mind Twist, and probably, is that a Lightning Bolt? No, it's a Rook Egg. Okay, so both the Mind Twist, a Mox, and the Library of Alexandria, turn 1. Here he comes. Yeah, and I'm not really sure if Tropical Twister even plays with Ice Storms. He used to do that because of the philosophy of always packing answers against the library. But he has tweaked it so much, I'm not even sure. Okay, trying to hold him back here. Mox Jet getting immediately removed with a Crumble. Fast Bond coming out. Just a lot of lands here. And there's a Chaos Orb. Okay, that's a very, very nice draw. But he needs to make this work here. Otherwise, it does. Very, very secure flip, actually. Taking care of that library straight from the get-go here. And he's well ahead with all those mana. Has a Sol Ring. Really, really a lot of mana here. Okay, and yeah, there's a Shatter on the Sol Ring. It might seem odd with all that mana that's already out there, but Tropical Twister usually works best when it has like a redundant amount of mana available, so it can play a fat beater and still have counter magic up, or play an Amnesia. And actually, the Disc Control player actually seems a bit mana starved here, but he has that Chaos Orb out there. 2 Mazes of Earth against him though, so it might be slightly difficult for those trolls to get in. Okay, Dark Ritual coming out, and Underworld Dreams. Okay, Tropical Twister needs to counter this. He can't though. That's actually pretty key, because I don't think pre-sideboard Tropical Twister has any means of getting rid of that Underworld Dreams, and he relies so much on his draw power. Recall. Okay, getting out the Chaos Orb. I think he needs to get, he's going all in to remove that Underworld Dreams. And then he's attacking with the factory, and he gets greeted with a Lightning Bolt straight to the face. Disc Control still a bit, mana stop, but he Mind Twist, good for him. He Mind Twist this one card that he knows is on the hand of the Tropical Twister, namely that Chaos Orb, getting rid of it again. So both players just playing around that Underworld Dreams, both recognizing that that's the key card at the moment of this game. Has a Killer Bee coming out. Okay, so he needs to finish this game before the Dreams finishes him. Hypnotic Spectre coming out as a blocker here. No. Instead he makes a Rook Egg. Okay, and then he pays like that. Okay, that's a 0/3 Rook Egg that can... Okay, it gets immediately mana drained. Okay. I think I would have kept that mana drain against the Hypnotic Spectre, actually. Oh yeah, it's because he has 2 Maces of Ith down at the bottom there, so those Spectres can't get in, and the bee can become a 2/3 flying swarm, so the Spectre won't be able to block it. Still, is that really worth a counterspell? I'm not sure. That Rook Egg. There are no ground forces to crack it open. There's an Underworld Dreams. Okay, 2 Underworld Dreams now. Ouch, ouch. Yeah, Tropical Twister really needs a Desert Twister or a Tranquility at this point. But the bee's just trucking on, stinging the troll player. Oh, there's a lightning bolt, just dispersing the swarm. And there's a Hypnotic Spectre. Not much of a threat with all those Maces of Ith, but I suppose the Disc Control player might as well play it. 8 lives left on the Tropical Twister here. Takes 2 points of damage for each card he draws. Plays a drop of honey there. No. I think that was a good idea though, because the Disc Control player is really amassing a lot of troops at the border right there. He has the factory and the Hypnotic Spectre, and there's only 2 Maces of Ith, so 1 more creature and they'll start to get in. And he's in a bit of a pickle. Obviously he needs to get something against those Underworld Dreams. Okay, there's a drop of honey though. Munching the Spectre keeps the creatures at bay. No? Okay, he comes back. I'm not really sure when Drop of Honey is activated. Perhaps it's only at the upkeep of the owner of it. Oh, Chain Lightning to the face of the Tropical Twister, and yet another Spectre here. So good thing that he played that Drop of Honey, actually, munching one of them. And then he goes to 3 life from that Underworld Dreams. Oh, it forfeits the game here. Look at that hand. Brain Geyser and Time Twister. 2 of the most useless cards in this situation. You could imagine. So yeah, we'll let these guys sideboard a bit. I imagine the Tropical Twister will try to get in some Tranquilities now, perhaps take out the Sylvan Library against those Underworld Dreams. And a case could be made to remove the Killer Bees as well, because he's up against Lightning Bolts, but I think he loves them too much. They'll stay in, and I really like that, and they are cool. And pretty good against the Spectres, actually. As opposed to Disc Control player, well, he can get in some Red Blasts as much as he wants. He can't really play Blood Moons against the Tropical Twister. It's only a 2-colored deck as well. But yeah, the Red Blasts will work wonders. Tropical Twister can put in some artifact removal as well against the discs, perhaps. We'll see. Round number 2, and Disc Control actually mulligans a single card here. As a bad land into a Dark Ritual. Oh, turn 1 Underworld Dreams. And this is just sneaking it out before there are 2 blue mana available to the Tropical Twister. So he can't even counter it. Oh, look at that. That's a... what's it called? Candelabra of Taunus. Great card. You can tap a colorless mana, and then you can untap a land with that. So the Maces of Ith, Library of Alexandria, factories, stuff like that can be reused. Library of Alexandria just gets strip mined straight away. Good for the Tropical Twister here. He just tends to draw his answers against that library. I think those are the 2 answers in his deck. The single strip mine and the Chaos Orb. So we have a game here. Probably shouldn't attack with that factory though, against 2 red manas. Oh, he does so. And it works. Okay, no bolts. I'll take that back then. So it'll be curious to see whether the Tropical Twister has sideboarded some Tranquilities in just to get rid of... Okay, he has. Okay, yeah. So good call that he did that, I think. Good for him. It's Chain Lightning, and there's a Dark Ritual straight into one of the ghosts here. Really fast, that Disc Control player. Okay, Sushi coming out. Can't really remove the Hypnotic Spectre, and it'll remove cards from his hand, but at least he can counter-attack with the Sushi. He stays back with the Spectre though. Okay, has a counter war here. So the Ancestral Recall goes through, just backing it up with a blue elemental blast here. Very good by the patience from the Tropical Twister here, that he waits with the Ancestral Recall until he can back it up with the blue elemental blast, because he knows, or he probably has a hunch, that the Disc Control player will pack red blasts against him. Okay, there's the first troll coming out. He allows it. You can't block that sushi all day though. There's a Killer Bee. It'll fly straight over that troll, and he attacks with the sushi, and as the troll can't regenerate, he elects to just block it with the Spectre here. Hypnotic Spectre coming out, but it's not strong enough. It can't handle those Killer Bees with all their tiny shields and lances. No? Okay. He takes that back. Okay, he puts down a disc. Tropical Twister won't allow that. Just countering it straight up. Then he goes for the kill. Taking with everything and just pumping it. You can actually use the Candelabra of Taunos to get even more forests in play by using the factory as colorless mana to untap a forest. Another factory. Yeah, he can actually pump the factories as well. So he attacks with everything here. Then he attacks and pumps, untaps the factory and pumps it again, and that's a kill with a Candelabra of Taunos here. Just tapping and untapping those factories to pump the factory that got in, and sealing the deal through that. A spicy kill. So it's 1-1 now between the Tropical Twister and Disco Troll. Let's see what will happen in the final match. So round number 3 in the final round here. Disco Troll on the play. With the Library of Alexandria turn 1. Again, and another one. This is just a game of libraries. But they don't usually last very long. They get removed pretty quick. Okay, second round, drawing a card, playing a Badlands Dark Ritual into Underworld Dreams. That's like the best start imaginable for Disc Controls here. It'll punish the Tropical Twister for using its own library, and he can't really counter it. Time Walking here, yeah, nets him a lot of cards and puts him ahead in the land drop game. Needs a green mana and a Tranquility ASAP. The Disc Control player can just use his library with impunity here. Another Dark Ritual and another Underworld Dreams. Oh, good. No, Spell Blast won't work, buddy. Oh, he wanted to counter the Dark Ritual. Okay, but it got red blasted. Okay, so that was a crucial counter war won by Disc Controls here. Yeah, Tropical Twister coming out with a robot here who really needs to work fast. I think this game will be over pretty quick, actually. Okay, Chaos Orb now. Oh no, it failed. It didn't flip at 360, only 180. But it's very difficult for them to see that because they don't have the luxury like we do to just slow it down. So actually that sushi isn't dead, but we'll just play along here. Ooh, Ancestral Recall for 6 points of damage here. Ouch. That's a mux. I had to edit this. Let me just, yeah. It's at the exact spot of particular vicious glare right there, so just remember that. And a Mace of Ith coming down here from Tropical Twister. He took a beating with that Ancestral Recall, but he's digging for an Ancestral for Tranquility at this point. Okay, there's a troll. Could counter this. Okay, well, that's a Chandler. I think, yeah, he counters that. He has the Mace of Ith to keep the troll back for now. He just needs to stay alive. He can't get bolted. And there's the Drop of Honey. It'll take care of that troll just fine, actually. Okay, a factory coming down, but the troll will get eaten by the Drop of Honey before that. Num num num. 3 points of life left. I think this is it. He needs a tranquility. Another factory. There's the bolt. Can he counter? Yes. Okay, he still survives. But with 2 dreams against him. Actually, the tranquility would wipe both of those undual dreams out. But as the factories. Okay, a couple of crumbles on them here. Final salvo from Tropical Twister. That's game. Oh man, couldn't get the answer fast enough here. There's the tranquility. Yeah, those undual dreams, man, they're so vicious against blue. So, Disc Controls took the final match of this set, 2-1. I think this might be the sideboard options of these guys. I wonder if he took that in or took it out. 4 Hypnotic Spectres, a Shatter, Red Blast. Okay, that's what he took out and what he took in. So he took it in extra Underworld Dreams, that makes sense. Some Terrors against the Killer Bees, perhaps. Red Blast makes sense. Shatter, I don't understand that. 2 Shatters, okay. I think the bottom row is what he took in, and the top row is what Disc Controls took out. But I'm not really sure. The Spectres are kind of nice against Tropical Twister though. But it kind of looks like he chose to put them out of the deck. Perhaps he didn't want to fight the air battle with the Killer Bees. I'm not sure. Anyway, after this I'll be sure to put up some more games from the Swiss. There are a couple of cameras, and I think the next game is featuring myself actually, but I'm not sure. I guess we'll have to see. For now, this is me signing off, and thank you so much for watching this second round of the Pegasus Cup 2020, and I will see you on the next one.